Robert Maginnis is a retired lieutenant colonel for the U.S. Army. He's also a Pentagon senior strategist, and he joins me now live from Woodbridge, Virginia. Thanks very much for joining us here on TRT World. If these allegations are true, what does Iran have to gain from this?
Well, clearly, Iran is selling weapons, I think, based upon the reports to the Russians. Now, keep in mind, the Russians, because of sanctions, are rather desperate, and they've reached out not only to Iran, but North Korea and perhaps others to resupply their diminished stockpiles of weapons. But certainly the kamikaze or the Shahad 136, which we're talking about now, is a reasonably capable drone with an 80-pound warhead that can loiter in place and then strike power plants or buildings of high rises or other types of facilities. And now this is something that is a change in strategy of sorts, I suppose, because Vladimir Putin is suffering from setbacks due to the Ukrainian assaults and offenses against the four provinces of the eastern part that have already been annexed by his government. I would expect this to continue. We've seen other things that the Russians have done. They pulled S-300s and their troops out of Syria. And of course, this has caused significant problems for others. Interestingly, and now even Israel is talking about whether or not they're going to provide some sort of capability to the Ukrainians. At least initially, it looks as if they may provide a red alert type of warning system and not a kinetic or a weapon or counter weapon that they're quite capable of doing. So there's a lot that's going on here. I suspect that we'll see new wrinkles in this ongoing war in the near future.
And how is the U.S. Likely to respond? More sanctions on Iran?
Well, I think the sanctions are having their effect. It's clear that the 2015 nuclear JCPOA agreement with Iran is not going to be renegotiated anytime soon. That's been stopped. And so I think that's a price. Of course, the U.S. and the West will try to go after other Iranian shortfalls. But keep in mind, the Iranians are having serious domestic problems across that country. And so that and perhaps other activities could certainly lead to further instability. So I think that a host of issues are taking place, not only in Ukraine, but Iran and elsewhere that have to be taken into account here.
Lieutenant Colonel Robert Maginnis, thank you very much. Really appreciate your taking out the time.
Thank you.